Sleep Sayer welcomes you, dear listener, to this peaceful evening's journey. Tonight, we shall drift together into the Soundkeeper's Lullaby, a gentle tale that flows like a calm river through the mountains of memory and dreams. As you settle more deeply into your comfortable resting place, allow your breathing to slow, matching the peaceful rhythm of this story. Let each word carry you closer to tranquil sleep, like leaves floating on a quiet stream. In the ancient, mist-shrouded Adirondack Mountains, where lake waters had whispered their secrets to pine forests for countless millennia, stood a museum unlike any other in the world. It was housed in a restored Victorian mansion, its gabled windows like half-lidded eyes watching over the peaceful valley below, its wraparound porches catching the evening breeze like arms gathering in tired travelers. The mansion's weathered wooden steps, worn smooth by generations of footfalls, creaked their own gentle music, while stained glass windows transformed sunlight into dancing colors that moved like aurora borealis across the polished wooden floors. These walls had witnessed over a century of seasons pass, each leaving its own melody behind, each adding another layer to the endless symphony of time. Sarah, the museum's curator, moved through her days with the quiet grace of someone who had learned to listen deeply to the world around her. Her footsteps were soft, her movements unhurried, as if she were constantly aware of being part of nature's gentle dance. Each morning, as the sun painted the sky in watercolor hues of pink and gold, she would pause on the dew-dampened porch, breathing in the mountain air that carried the scent of pine needles and distant rain. These moments were sacred to her, a time to listen to the story each new day was beginning to tell, the morning chorus of birds, the whisper of wind through ancient trees, the distant sound of water tumbling over rocks in the mountain streams. Sometimes, carried on the morning breeze, she would catch fragments of conversations from passing hikers on the nearby trails. They spoke in hushed tones of a mysterious composer who traveled the world collecting healing sounds, the rhythm of waves on hidden beaches, the song of wind through desert canyons, the gentle percussion of rain on leaves in distant rainforests. These whispered tales would drift away with the wind like morning mist, leaving only the faintest impression in her mind, like footprints in soft sand slowly being erased by tide. The museum itself was a masterpiece of harmony between past and present. Hidden within its historical charm were gentle whispers of modern elements that seemed to emerge from the very walls themselves, as if the house had dreamed them into being. The rippled glass windows, original to the house, transformed harsh sunlight into a soft, dreamlike glow that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the earth itself, creating patterns that danced across the floors like gentle waves on a moonlit lake. Each room in the museum held its own carefully curated collection of sounds, each one a doorway to a different landscape of nature's endless symphony. In one room, visitors could close their eyes and be transported to a peaceful Pacific shore, where waves lapped eternally at the sand and distant whales sang their ancient songs across the depths. In another, the complex layers of Amazon rainforest sounds created a tapestry of peace, the rustle of leaves, the soft calls of hidden birds, the distant rumble of summer rain, all blending together in perfect harmony. A third space held the whispers of desert winds through ancient canyons, while yet another captured the crystal clarity of alpine streams. Every sound was preserved with the same tender care that other museums might give to precious artifacts, for Sarah understood that these acoustic memories were just as valuable as any physical treasure. At the heart of the museum lay the Sound Garden, a sheltered courtyard where art and nature conducted their endless dialogue in perfect harmony. Here, wind chimes crafted from beach glass collected from shores across 7 continents swayed in the mountain breeze, their songs mingling with the gentle flow of water over river stones worn smooth by centuries of patient persistence. Bamboo pipes, cut to different lengths, created deep, resonant tones when touched by the wind, their music reminiscent of ancient temple bells. Stone basins collected rainwater that dripped in meditative patterns, each drop contributing its note to the garden's endless song. In this sacred space, Sarah had created something timeless, a place where the rushing pace of the modern world slowed to match the rhythm of falling leaves and growing things. Here, time itself seemed to move more slowly, as if each moment were a drop of honey slowly falling from a spoon, golden and perfect and sweet. Each breath seemed to carry the wisdom of ages, each heartbeat aligned itself with the pulse of the earth beneath the flagstones. Throughout the changing seasons, Sarah maintained her collection of natural sounds with the same devoted care that a musician might give to priceless instruments. She would spend hours listening to the perfect angle of a stream's song, or rest peacefully through storms to experience the exact moment when thunder rolled through the mountain valleys like nature's own lullaby. Her archive held sounds from every continent, the crack of Arctic ice in spring, the morning chorus of Australian birds, the whisper of African savanna grass in the wind. Each recording captured a moment of perfect peace, a breath in the world's endless song. On the day the autumn winds began to turn, bringing with them the first hint of winter's approach, Sarah noticed subtle changes in her garden's symphony. The chimes sang with new melodies, as if they had learned different songs in the night. The air held the promise of something approaching, like the pause before the first snowflake falls. That evening, as clouds gathered overhead like a soft gray blanket, the crunch of footsteps on the gravel path announced the arrival of Thomas, the healing sound composer whose name had drifted through the mountains like scattered leaves. His presence brought a different quality of silence to the museum, not emptiness, but attention, as if the very air were listening more carefully to its own music. As they walked through the corridors, he would pause at each sound, closing his eyes and lifting his hands slightly, as if touching invisible threads of melody that only he could perceive. When he spoke of his work creating healing harmonies, his voice carried the same soothing rhythm as the streams that flowed through the garden, rising and falling in gentle cadence that seemed to calm the very air around him. In the Sound Garden, protected from the gathering storm by the old mansion's broad eaves, they sat in comfortable silence as nature played its evening symphony. The wind chimes sang their delicate songs, their notes falling like silver drops into the growing dusk. Distant thunder rolled through the mountains like gentle drums, and the first scattered raindrops created a soft percussion on the leaves above. They shared stories of their travels, her journeys to record the sounds of sacred places around the world, his quest to understand how certain combinations of natural sounds could bring peace to troubled minds. As evening deepened into night, their conversation flowed like a peaceful stream, revealing the profound connections between sound and healing. Thomas spoke of hospitals where the song of waves helped ease pain, of meditation centers where the rhythm of rainfall helped calm anxious thoughts. Sarah shared how visitors to her museum often found themselves transported to places of deep peace, some falling into restful sleep in the rooms that held their childhood landscapes, the sound of prairie wind for those raised on the plains, ocean waves for those who grew up by the sea. Time flowed like water over river stones as Sarah and Thomas wove their work together, transforming the museum into a sanctuary of sound and healing. They created spaces where the natural world's endless symphony could wash away the stresses of modern life, where troubled souls could find their way back to peace through the simple act of listening deeply. Each new recording was like adding another star to an endless sky, another drop to an infinite ocean of sound. The sound garden bloomed with new life as they added layers to its symphony, gentle harmonies weaving through the natural sounds, creating something that was both ancient and new, like moonlight on water or the first snowfall on autumn leaves. Their work together felt like completing a circle that had begun with the first human who paused to listen to wind in the trees or waves on the shore, finding peace in nature's endless song. Now, as twilight embraces the Adirondack Mountains and peace settles over the valley like a soft blanket, the sound garden continues its eternal lullaby. The wind still plays among the chimes, drawing forth melodies as ancient as the mountains themselves. Water still flows over age-smoothed stones, telling stories of its long journey from mountain peak to valley floor. The carefully collected sounds from around the world blend together like colors in a sunset, creating a tapestry of peace that transcends time and place. And as night deepens, drawing its star-scattered curtain across the sky, the garden's song grows ever softer, like waves retreating from the shore. The wind chimes whisper more quietly, their silver voices becoming as soft as starlight. The streams seem to slow their endless journey, their songs becoming quiet as dreams. Even the stars above appear to dim their light, as if preparing for sleep themselves, their twinkling becoming gentle as butterfly wings. The music of the garden becomes a gentle lullaby, carrying all who listen into dreams as peaceful as moonlight on still water, as soft as clouds drifting across the face of the moon, as endless as the ancient song of the mountains themselves. Each note floats like a feather on the night air, each silence between the notes holds the peace of perfect contentment, and all who rest here find themselves drifting deeper and deeper into tranquil sleep. Let the peaceful rhythms of this story carry you into your own gentle slumber, as Sleep Sayer bids you good night.